Hi everybody, welcome back to Confidence Stories. My name's Jasmine Navarro and I'm a certified wellbeing expert working with educational institutions and companies, and I'm also partnered with the Warrior Academy. And every Friday I interview different experts. Sorry, we're having a bit of technical problems here, but every Friday I interview different experts at the Warrior Academy to talk about how they've overcome different family challenges, and they offer key tips and tools and techniques to help other families who are going through the same thing. And today I'm very excited to be interviewing Master Leon. Hi, Master Leon.
Hi, good day, Yasmin. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you so much for coming on today. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yes, I'm the lead instructor at Warrior Academy, and what we do is we teach kids confidence, and also a lot of things in confidence that we teach is cyberbullying and that type of thing. So we use the Warrior Academy, the martial arts side of it, to carry forth the instruction of how to handle themselves at schools and so forth.
Amazing. And today we're talking about supporting families through transition with a special focus on dealing with new schools, teachers and surroundings, which I'm sure is a hot topic for families. So Leon, Master Leon, can you tell us about your experience in this area?
Okay, so what I've done is I've drawn on my actual experience coming from one country to another country. And what happened is we're a family of four. Got a 14-year-old daughter, 16-year-old son, and my wife, and we relocated from South Africa to come to Dubai. And in doing so, we had to move the kids to a new school and so forth. They were very settled in South Africa, so they were very happy with their surroundings. They had grandparents, and they had all that. So what I found is once we relocated, I had one child that thrived and one child that did not thrive. My daughter of 14, she battles with change. My son thrives on change. So he was doing exceptionally well adapting to the new school. He was comfortable with his peers. He was making friends, his teachers. He's extremely sporty, so he's sport and that. On the other hand, his sister was at the same school and she battled to adapt.
Right. What problems did you have?
She just started with her grandparents. She missed her grandparents, her friends in South Africa. She was battling to make friends here. And I sort of spoke her through the whole process and said to her, look, it's going to take time and that. But I think seeing her brother do so well, making friends, and that becomes an issue where she sort of doubts herself, and she's not too sure why is he adapting so quickly and she's not. So I think that was our biggest issue, is trying to get her to make friends.
So she was comparing herself.
Absolutely,
well. I think a lot of teenagers do this, don't they?
Absolutely, and it goes further than that. My wife started a new job, so she had her own challenges.
Right. Okay.
And I think the kids also feel that, we're in a different country.
Mm-hmm.
Mom was also trying to feel her way through her job.
Yes.
So the kids sort of pick up, and sometimes myself and my wife would speak, and she would overhear certain things, and then she'd get quite concerned. So you have to be so careful. Sometimes you're talking about stuff, and they pick up bits and pieces.
Oh, but not the whole
story.
Right.
Obviously, so she would go back and have a different take on the conversation we had. So we learned to sort of have our conversations where we thought it was private. She'd overhear everything.
Wow.
So it was quite an issue.
That's really interesting.
Yep. And the one thing that we found that helped her a lot, and this might. We brought our two dogs over from South Africa, so and she loved the animals, so that helped her accept, sort of adapt and accept that she's here permanently, and that we, so that helped her a lot, sort of working with the animals and that.
They say animals are very therapeutic. I really believe that.
Absolutely. So in that, I sort of learned coming to the Warrior Academy that, there's certain kids, you got to always find out, if they're battling in over at school or they're battling with us, you sort of ask them, how long have you been here? Have you adapted? Have you not adapted? And you start talking to them. I think you start finding out, that they're still trying to find their feet.
Exactly. So, no, Master Leon, you mentioned some really valid points there. So you said your daughter found it hard to make friends, and also she was comparing herself with her brother. So how did you address those two challenges? Because they are really big challenges, and I'm sure so many families go through the same thing.
You know what? I sat down with my son and I said to him, look, you're an older brother.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
You guys, there's 2 years difference between the two of you. You see the same friends. And what he started doing is when he went out with his friends, his sister would go with sometimes, and she got to know his friends. And there was a sort of, his friends started becoming friends with her, and that helped her a lot. I know. So
he really supported her.
He supported her, but there were days that he said to me, Dad, the boys want to, we want to go. So you have this where sister wants to tag with, and he's saying, Dad, could we just have some time where just the boys go? so there was, but luckily we've overcome that. She sort of adapted, and I think that helped a lot. So if there are siblings and the siblings that are doing well with a change, to help, and that's what I found. I just sat down and spoke to my son and then said, look, you've got to support your sister.
Wow,
you're in the same school.
Yeah.
You've got to help her with certain things. She battles with change.
Yeah.
And I must say, he stepped up and he helped us immensely. So
that's good. So do you think because he helped her, that actually gave her the first sort of
yes, that gave her a lot more confidence. Because I would ask her, why do you feel that? And she'd feel that the place is so different to what she was used to. The people she talks to, their views were so different.
Wow.
And Dubai is a melting pot of different nationalities.
Yes.
So certain people will adapt to it, and certain people will battle to adapt.
You're right.
You're
right.
So you've got to understand the different nationalities, the different people, where they're coming from, their views.
Yeah. So probably she felt alone.
Yes, absolutely. No, she felt very alone. And the one thing I must say, we pushed her into as much sports as possible. Got her to do swimming, gymnastics, and that, so that she could see if she could get friends, meet people, and do sport. And sport is the one thing that actually keeps them busy, keeps them motivated.
It's good for the mental health.
It's very good.
And I think you're right. You hit the nail on the head. It's about when you move to a new place. I think the thing that's the most daunting, probably for lots of people, especially children and teenagers, is you're going to have to make new friends.
Absolutely. And I mean, you know what? I could pick up certain times she'd get a little bit sick and tell me she's sick, and you could pick up that she didn't want to go to school, and it was things like that driving to school she'd be saying she's not feeling well, she's not this. But you got to get past that hurdle. You actually got to be, for lack of a better word, cruel to be kind. You actually got to push her, and I pushed her, walked her in, and that's how we overcame it. But there were times that she was just starting to get a little bit sick and she didn't want to go, and then myself and my wife picked up. She was sort of, those were days that she didn't want to go to school.
So what I'm hearing you say is perseverance. You kept going.
Absolutely, perseverance, and talk her through it, and you know what, you've got to be understanding. I mean, it's and I spoke to my wife. I mean, she said to me, there were days she walked into the management meeting and she felt exactly how Mika felt. So you have to talk them through that. So
you did talk to her then? Did you talked about her experience and how she was feeling?
Yes. All of that? So you've got to, there were even some days that you said, look, if you're really feeling sick, then we'd give her a break and say, okay, but it mustn't become an out, sort of where she learns that she can use it as a tool not to go to school. So you got to be you got to be a little bit hard and say, listen, no, you don't look that bad. If you really feel sick, the school will phone us. So we sort of pushed her the whole time. And luckily, look, it took us, we're now 2 years down the line, and she's adapted and she's happy and that. But there were days that she did find it extremely difficult.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you did a lot for her, really. So you gave her a supportive environment, her brother as well. The family supported her going through this transition. You exposed her to different ways of making friends, the sport.
Yes.
Put her in different situations. You spoke to her as well.
Absolutely. Asked her, spoke to her driving in the car to school. There was a lot of chats.
Really?
Of time.
Oh, wow.
From leaving home
Yeah.
to getting to school, there were a lot of chats. And her brother would also step in and say, look, it's going to be a good day. I'm there.
Wow.
If anything happens, I'm there at school. And that's
so what kind of things was she like worried about when she was in the car on the way to school? Do you know?
She'd say, oh, I don't know if I've done my homework correctly.
Okay.
So things like that.
Yes.
I don't know if today is going to be a good day because we're having a test, or
Okay.
we're not, or I don't know, today my one friend's not coming to school. It's the only friend I've got. So if she found out that one friend was sick or that friend was going somewhere, especially closer to summer break, some of her friends would leave a week early and she would not want to, because those friends have left, they've gone. So she'd be going to school and she kept telling me, but I've got no friends there. They've all gone to the UK. They've left early. And she'd be extremely upset about it, that she's got to go to school and they're not there. And I always said to her, but you've got other friends, you've got other people there, your brother's there.
Yes.
So those were the challenges. Also, if she felt that she wasn't doing well at a subject and they were doing a test that day, she would be very upset. She'd be, I don't know if I'm going to do it. And I said to her, that's normal. That's normal.
Yes.
Everybody, no matter how good you're at something, even if you get tested, you're going to feel a little bit butterflies, not sure in that, So it was getting over that hurdle that we had to face all the time.
No, but that's brilliant, because it sounds like we mentioned, you gave her that supportive environment, effective communication as well. And I love what you said to her, it's normal.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, it is normal to feel stressed, anxious, worried, especially when you've been thrown into a new environment, when everything changes. Your whole life changes, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Everything changes.
Unknown.
And she'd always say, I'd speak to my granny, I'd speak to my grandfather, they'd help me, and that's so we had a lot of conversation with her grandparents on the phone and that, So they miss that, where we came from an environment in South Africa where my father-in-law, her grandfather, would take her to school and pick her up. So she was very used to that environment so there were many a times we were in the car and I'd phone my father-in-law and he'd have a chat with her before school, just to calm her down and tell her that, do what we did when I dropped you. And even in South Africa, we had that issue with her. She had a problem with change. So if she gets out the car, she used to also tell her grandfather, I don't feel like going today. And so we had that challenge the whole time. With us changing to another country, it just became a lot more difficult with her. So she had to adapt. And I think seeing her brother just do it so much easier than what she could. She questioned herself, why does she have this issue? Why isn't she adapting? Why is she backing to make friends? So we had a lot of that.
And how did you deal with that side of things, the comparing?
You know what? I let her brother talk to her.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was sort of, we were just giving advice, telling her how things, what you can do and what you should do. Her brother was more at her level, where he'd sit with her and say to her, but I just go and talk, and I make sure I take part in team sport, and make sure I do some activities with my friends, and then we do team building. So for her it was sort of getting into a team and that, because she loved gymnastics, but that's you do gymnastics by yourself. It's not a team event.
That's true.
So we sort of told her, so, play rounders, get into the rounders team, get into a basketball team, so that she would have friends that she'd play a game with and have that sort of team spirit where you're building a team, you're part of a team.
I think that's really good advice, because that is a really good way to make friends, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That's what I work with a lot with the martial arts and with Warrior Academy.
Yes,
it's sort of a lot of times people come and they do martial arts, but when you're giving class, a lot of times I'll give them an exercise where they got to work as a team, and they suffer as a team, and if one doesn't do it, they all have to do it.
Yeah.
So you have that team camaraderie where we got to work as a team. We've got to be as strong as a team, and that's where it comes. We're as strong as the weakest link. So you've got to make sure you stick with that type of training, building a team spirit, making sure you're part of a team, and I think that goes a long way. Building a community around yourself.
Relationship building, because this is something that we need throughout our life, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, it's like I often say to the kids when we do grading that we're not grading you here to tell you what high belt you're getting. Consider it like an interview. Further down the line in life, you're going to have to go for an interview for a job. So the more you get out of this, the more you stand up in front of the class, you talk to them. It's like an interview, debating, getting into school, standing up at school, and talking. That's all confidence building. And you've got to get that, because later in life, when you turn 18, your mom and dad aren't going to stand there and do the interview with you. You're going to do it by yourself. So
that's so true.
No,
and I know, like, as your position in the Warrior Academy, you do teach all of these skills as well. So what kind of skills do you teach when you're in the dojo?
Well, you must remember, I was in the military, so I do a lot of what we do in the military. So.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So you suffer as a team. Everything you do as a team. Because
really?
That's it. So it's that type of mentality when I teach, and you'll often see, and I think a lot of the students know that they do a lot of push-ups in my class, because if one person doesn't do it, everybody does the push-ups.
Oh, really?
So,
really?
No, like I often say to them, I'm not the bad person. It's your friends that are making it difficult for you. I'm just here telling you that if you haven't done this, you're going to do push-ups. And
everyone does the push-up.
Everyone does a push-up before. And a lot of times they say, but I didn't do anything. I said, yes, no, you didn't do anything. But if you turn to your left and see your friend there, Peter, he's not doing it. And then they work as a team. They learn to develop that. Let's do it as a team. Let's count together. Simple things like counting together, doing push-ups together, doing sit-ups together. That builds a team. That makes sure that they build a massive respect for each other and a bond amongst them. I mean, that's why if you ask anybody that was in the army, the friends you made in the army, I mean, those are friends because you suffered. You absolutely suffered in the army, everything that you did, but you suffered together. And when you suffer together, you have a special bond, and you'll never break that bond in a team.
Wow.
So,
and when you have that bond in a team, like in the dojo, does that increase the individual self-confidence as well?
Absolutely.
Does it?
No, it brings everybody. I mean, there'll be certain leaders in the team, and you'll start picking the leaders, the guys that will start talking to the guys that are battling and motivating them. So you've got one where you'll get 2 or 3 guys or girls that become quite motivational.
Okay.
And help the other guys,
right.
And that builds the team, and it builds confidence. So if you've got someone that's battling with confidence, you get the kids, they talk to each other and they actually build each other up. So you've actually got a mechanism where the weaker people get pulled by the stronger people, and that helps them immensely.
It sort of happens naturally, doesn't
it? It happens. Look, when you're out there and you're training and you're tired and you're there, it happens naturally where people start sticking together. I mean, it's amazing when you always look at, I always used to say to them, right, I want to see everybody running and who's crossed the line first. and then you see the fast ones, and they're all running. So I said, now I want to see can you work as a team and come across the line all together? And then you still get some that run fast, and you say, no, we're going to do this till you get it right. But because you got it wrong, let's do 10 push-ups, everybody. So you do 10 push-ups, and they still do it where they run. After the second time, someone actually figures out, hang on, guys, let's run in one straight line across the finish line. And that's what you want. You want that sort of, let's
Together.
someone turn around and say, oh, hang on a moment, let's just do it all together.
Wow.
And I wait for that, because that's
Yeah.
where you see a lot of the leadership come out in people that say, well, no. Whatever we're doing, we've done it 3 times when we've done 30 push-ups already. Maybe we should do something different. And that's what I look for in the training, is what is different? What are you as a team? And you see the youngsters that step up straight away, that figure it out. And those are the ones that normally lead.
Wow.
So that's how
Like
we
a
look
shift.
at it.
Like you actually see a whole shift.
Yeah, you see a total shift. But the only way they do it is by suffering together. And you just need one person or 2 people saying, we keep doing these push-ups. We're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And then someone will go, yeah, we've got to finish together exactly on the same.
Yeah.
So that's what you do, is you actually get those people to pop out in the training, and they figure it out. And it's nothing different to what we did in the army. It's like we were chased around, and eventually I'll never forget it. The one guy said to us one day, we 30 guys, he's one guy. If we work together, together, the instructor can't break us.
Yeah.
And that's what you need.
Wow.
And that's what the army, everybody looks at in the army, is the minute you bond all 30 guys, they are a lot stronger in the field.
Yeah.
So you want to bond that team as one. You don't want them fighting individually. So that's what we do. It's the exact same mentality. It's you bonding this team, and when they bond, that's where the synergy happens. They talk with each other. They have this team. They have camaraderie.
Strongly together. And I love what you say. What you said about that you wait for them to figure it out. It's like you're providing them that space, the tools that they need to figure it out.
They're in a safe space.
Yeah.
So you actually, and funny, it's only when you're tired and you're suffering that some people go, hang on, we're doing something wrong here.
Something. Can't anymore. Something has to change.
We can't do another 30. So are we going to figure it out? And people figure it out. And they start, and that's, I mean,
That's brilliant.
And any martial arts, when they do the advanced grading, it's your actual mentality is to make them as tired as possible and then do the syllabus. Because when you're tired, you're going to make mistakes. When you're fresh, you're not going to make mistakes. So the whole concept is
really,
you've got to be tired. So for the first hour, that's why we do advanced grading for 3 hours. The first hour and a half, our job is just to make you as tired as possible.
Oh, right.
To see if you can last, and then start your grading, and then you start seeing all.
Pushing you to your limit.
Yes, we're pushing you right to your
really?
limit. The same as fitness. I mean, it's heartbreaking. Sometimes we used to do is you make them as tired as possible, and you tell them if you do these last 10 push-ups, that's it. And then you get to number 9. And you say, oh gosh, we've made a mistake. Let's start all over. And an emotional, I am finished. I cannot anymore. We've shown you the finishing line. We've shown you it's there. And all of a sudden you pull that out under them. And then all of a sudden they go, I can't do this anymore. And that's where you actually have that perception like, I can't do this anymore. And what we look for is the person that, we're not looking for you to do it 100%. But
no.
Turn around and say, okay, I'll start again, it's fine, I'll carry on. And that's the person you look for.
Wow.
That's what makes the difference between someone that's a black belt and that's not going to pass it. So that.
And you can learn that, people can learn that.
Yes, you push them. And with the more advanced children, I push them to their limit a little bit. And then sort of tell them, you're almost there, and say, oh, I didn't quite make it, let's start again. And that starts teaching them that I can carry on. Doesn't matter what, I will carry on.
Yeah. And that's actually a tool for life.
And that's a tool for life. And if you've got a good team around you, and if you've got good teammates that train with you, they will always push you. They'll, doesn't matter what, just keep going. So if you see
Wow.
someone else going,
Wow.
you have that. So that's where teamwork comes in a lot.
Yes. No, you mentioned teamwork, communication, and resilience.
Exactly, and communicating with each other, and sort of, for a lack of a better word, feeding off each other's energy.
And that's why it sounds like you're saying why team is so important, because then you've got that support.
You've got that support group. You've got that. You can feed off people. So you've got that whole, and that's what we try and teach the youngsters. Is
No, brilliant. So we've nearly finished, but it's so interesting talking to you, Leon. So so basically, how is all of this connected to everything that you teach in martial arts? How could this be connected to supporting families through transition as well?
Well, it's like I say to them, I often say to them, what is a team? And they all go, soccer, a football team, a rugby team, a cricket team. And then I say to them, is your family a team? And then the penny drops and they go, yeah. So I said, so exactly what you do when we train, when you're a family, you do the same. You support each other. You go through difficult times. So if there's difficult times, you've got an older brother or sister, help each other. If you've got problems with studying and your brother or your sister is already 2 years ahead of you or 3 years ahead of you, they've done it. So let them help you. So that's where family comes in, and you try and work on that teamwork. Family is a team. You're a team.
I love that.
You clean the house. You wash the dishes. You pick up the match. You sweep the floors. I mean,
you do everything together.
You do it as a team, and I know that in Dubai you've got a lot of nannies that do that. But you've got to actually step up and sometimes have a routine that you also do yourself. Because you know what happens? At 18, you all leave to go to university. I told my son, I don't know how you're going to live. Are you going to live on McDonald's because he doesn't know how to cook? Basic stuff like that, life skills. So you think when you're living at home and you're not learning any of that stuff, at 18, when you leave, you've got to know how to at least feed yourself.
Yes.
So that's a challenge.
So what I've learned a lot talking to you today, Leon, because you're saying, about or using what you have as well.
Exactly.
Using what you have around you.
No, you've got to use what you've got around you, and you've got to feed off other people. Their knowledge, what they're doing, how they're doing it.
Ask for help.
And if you don't talk and you don't speak with other people, you don't get this information. And that's what we've taught our daughters. You've got to be able to be open and speak about it. So that for me as a line of communication with them is extremely important.
Wow, no, it's very interesting what you were saying. So effective communication, having the supportive environment, creating the supportive environment, your team, your family.
That's it.
Creating that environment where you're with people, basically.
And speak to people as much as possible. And from the parent side, you've got to be able to engage, listen, engage and listen. And a lot of listening with your daughter, a lot of times it's such easy stuff, but they're finding it exceptionally difficult. I mean, there were times I wanted to tell my daughter, that is not a problem. But in her world, it was a massive problem.
Yes.
So sometimes what we perceive as not a big issue, for them it is a massive issue. And you just got to listen, give advice, and go over it again, and non-judgment. I mean, that's it. So for me, that's the most important thing, is make sure you're listening to them continuously. Amazing.
And hi, Nora, how are you doing? And Nora says this is wonderful, teaching kids vital life skills through helping with chores and cooking at home. Very simple but important point. Thank you so much, Nora. And thank you everybody else who has been listening today to our confidence stories with Master Leon. He has just shared some amazing tips that you could actually start implementing straight away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there anything else you would like to say before we go, Master Leon?
Just keep listening to your kids and just be happy they talk to you. That for me is the most important. Keep that line of communication open all the time.
I love that. That is a beautiful way to end the live. And thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. If you have any questions, please message on here, on the LinkedIn post or YouTube or anywhere, and we will get back to you. And we will be back next week with a different expert on confidence stories. Thank you so much. See you next week.
Take care.